Hey everybody, John here. Today we are going to go through a challenge I did about 2 years ago. So if you look up here in the top left, I actually did this session on Christmas of 2019, and I saw this challenge going around where people would make an entire song using just one synth. And I thought the idea was pretty cool. I did it just to kind of see if I could do it and how it would turn out. I never actually intended to release it, and I found it and I thought, while we're going over synths and I did the Sytrus course, it might be kind of cool to showcase what Sytrus can do and what I came up with during that time. So I think this challenge is pretty beneficial because you are forced to be restricted to using one synthesizer, and you're kind of put in a little bit of a box to make the most creative decision you can just using one synth. So it sounds like a restriction, which it is, but sometimes it can almost turn out like it's a better product, if that makes any type of sense. So with all these Sytrus patches, I decided to make all the patches myself because I thought, what's the point of using a preset patch to do this type of challenge? Because it's supposed to be challenging. So it's supposed to challenge you to make something. So if I used a preset, I feel like I would be cheating myself. So if you notice through all these patches here, these are all Sytrus. So like we can look through a couple of these right here and kind of just like scroll through these. So all of these here are all going to be Sytrus, the only synthesizer that I used. A couple disclaimers though, I did use external effects. So let's tour the cockpit here just a little bit. So generally how I set up my sessions, I have my effects docked on the right. So I have like a distortion channel here, some vintage verb, which you can see right here that I have up. And then I have some reverb, that's the Fruity Loops reverb. I kind of use it sometimes, but I generally lean on the vintage verb more so. And then some different delays here, which are the stock Fruity 3 delays from FL. And then you'll see like on the different channels, I have different distortions and parameters. I don't necessarily know if that's cheating or if that's against the rules of the challenge. I don't really know the rules itself. I just use one synthesizer to make the sounds, and that's what I did. And then I added some extra stuff, effects on top of that. And then, so going here, just looking at kind of the faders, I have generally my click on the first channel. Here's some of the drums here, the bass, some vocals I added, and here's kind of all the extra synths that I added later on. And then just a quick tour of the master channel. I have a limiter really only to bring up the volume to where I kind of need it to be. And then I run it through Ozone and have my own mastering chain going through here. Maybe some point we'll talk about mastering at some point. And then at the very end, I kind of just did a little bit of a corrective EQ. And then as normal, I usually have some spectrum analyzers here at the top to kind of see what's visually going on. So without further ado, let's get into the song. I'm going to try to kind of navigate the playlist as the song progresses as best as I can. There's a lot of stuff going on, as you'll see, so forgive me if I miss a certain spot that you were kind of looking to see or anything like that. And yeah, so let's get started. I'm going to mute my microphone as to make it sound a little bit better for you. So here we go. All right, so that was the song. It's not generally as long as most songs are, collecting about 2:37, but that was just one synthesizer. I thought it came out kind of cool. It's a weird type of style. I guess that's maybe industrial metal or something kind of similar like that. So before we wrap up the video, I kind of wanted to talk a little bit about something. So especially here, so for these drums here, if you go into this patch here, I'll bring this master down just a little bit here. So this is kind of just the general drum with all the Sytrus drum patches here. And it's interesting because making drums with the synth and then making the bass with it and making everything like that forces you to really understand the synth, and doing it that way you can really create your own kicks, your own snares, your own hats, really everything. Here's just a quick demonstration of the kick itself. So it's not that glorious, but once it's in everything, for example here, I think it turned out decently okay. I don't know if I'll do it with another synth. It was kind of fun to get through it, but I definitely recommend that you take up that challenge. And if you do, please let me know. I'd love to take a listen to it. It really doesn't matter which synth you pick. Some I think are probably easier than others. I generally chose Sytrus because of how much you can draw within the envelopes, and you can really customize it. I like how you have the fact of you can make certain type of hertz, like with this kick, for example, like the fundamental frequency is 50 hertz, and you can customize as much as you want. And like with the snare, for example, I think it's 200 something, probably, yeah, 207 as a fundamental, and yeah, and you kind of mix in a little bit of noise as you see here, and kind of just really, I guess, refine it as we talked before in other videos. But yeah, let me know what you guys thought. That was the Sytrus song. I never really had a name for it per se, but I'll put the lyrics down in the description of the video just in case you're curious. It wasn't anything like really well thought up through. I just kind of pressed record and said whatever came to mind. So make of that what you will. So thank you so much for watching. I hope maybe you learned something, maybe you didn't, maybe you're just killing some time or something like that. So we'll see you in the next video.